Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to XJW Diaries. My name is Justin. So, I have a little survey for you guys today. And the survey only has just one question. The question is, what grade of Jehovah's Witness were you? So, I'll explain the grades here in a second. And as I do, just think back to your old self, back when you were still a Jehovah's Witness, specifically the last 3 to 5 years before you left. And then when you see a grade that seems to match who you were back then, drop a comment below and let us know. And you can go into details if you want to, or you can just drop a simple grade. And I promise no judgment here, but it will definitely be interesting to see how this goes. And it may go the complete opposite direction of what I'm thinking. But if it does go the way that I'm thinking it will, then this will expose yet another lie that the Watchtower tells their members about those who leave the organization. So once again, keep the question in mind. How would you grade yourself as a Jehovah's Witness? Now, I'm sure some of you have already guessed why I would want to do something like this, but the main reason is because the Watchtower says a lot of very negative things about people who leave the organization. They'll say things like they never made the truth their own. The truth was never really in their hearts. They were hiding some secret sin. They gave up. They were spiritually weak, and many other things like that. And all of these things center around the theme that those who leave were just too weak, just not strong enough to live the Jehovah's Witness lifestyle. And of course, this further exposes the narcissistic nature of the organization, that they always have to blame the person that's leaving, rather than looking in the mirror and seeing their own faults. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I know in my own case, that is just not true. Those things that they say about people leaving just doesn't fit my story at all. In my own case, I really did believe that this was the truth. I really did have it in my heart, and I really did make the truth my own, as they say. I was at meetings. My meeting attendance was around 90%. I studied. I kept my service hours up, 10 to 15 hours every month, above average. I even auxiliary pioneered multiple times a year. Of course, I was serving as a ministerial servant, which meant I was taking on more responsibilities and giving more parts at meetings. And I was still trying to reach out, as they say, to make sure that I stayed on the trajectory of eventually becoming an elder. Now, all that being said, I wasn't perfect. I mean, everybody's got their things, you know. I can definitely say, again, with complete honesty here, I watched some things, I listened to some things, I played some games that would not be Watchtower approved. With all honesty, I can definitely give myself a solid grade B as a Jehovah's Witness. Now, during circuit overseer visits, during the weeks right after a convention, I might even step up to a B plus, maybe even an A minus level Jehovah's Witness. But for the most part, I was a solid grade B Jehovah's Witness. So that's a bit about me. What about you? What grade of Jehovah's Witness were you? So let's start with the grade F Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, these are the kind of witnesses that are really sitting on the fence. And in fact, they have their feet hanging over the fence at that. Most Jehovah's Witnesses would consider them to be bad association. And many of them truly are living double lives. If the elders were to know what these people were doing, many of them would probably be disfellowshipped. Now, some of these people are already inactive, but the ones who aren't are definitely irregular. They're doing just enough to not be inactive. When it comes to meetings, these grade F Jehovah's Witnesses are hardly ever there. Basically, these are your people who are Jehovah's Witnesses in name, but are definitely not living the lifestyle. So now we move up to the grade D Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, these are the people that are, as they say, quiet quitting. They're doing the very bare minimum. They're not inactive, but you could hardly say that they are active either. Now, when it comes to meetings, I'd say it's 50-50. They may be there, they may not. They may answer, they may not. They're definitely not regular enough to have any school parts. Some Jehovah's Witnesses would consider these people to be bad association. And some of them definitely are living very close to the edge. But for the most part, these grade D Jehovah's Witnesses really are living a Jehovah's Witness lifestyle. But they're just doing the bare minimum. So then we get to the grade C Jehovah's Witnesses. And this is where your average publisher sits. They keep their service hours right around average. Their meeting attendance is right around 80% or so. Now, the grade C Jehovah's Witnesses are not really reaching out, as they say, but they are definitely putting in the required amount of effort. When convention season comes around, they'll be sure to take off that extra Friday. And when the circuit overseer visits, these grade C Jehovah's Witnesses are usually willing and ready to auxiliary pioneer. Then you get to the grade B Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, these are the witnesses that are really starting to reach out. Some of them may already be pioneers, ministerial servants, or elders. In fact, there's even some circuit overseers, at least the more down-to-earth, realistic circuit overseers, who are also grade B Jehovah's Witnesses. These people keep their hours up, they keep their meeting attendance up, they really take the religion seriously, but they're still pretty down to earth. Some of them might even go see a rated R movie every now and then. You might hear one of them slip up and say a curse word every now and then, or share a political view every now and then. And for the most part, most of these grade B Jehovah's Witnesses are also pretty open-minded. Then you get to the grade A Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, these are a little bit more rare, but most congregations have at least one. And you can practically tell who they are just by the way they look, the way they talk, the way they walk, even the way they stand. These are the kind of people that if their Bethel application doesn't get approved, they just don't know what to do with their lives. Sometimes these people almost seem a little robotic, kind of Stepford wife-ish. These people would hardly even watch a PG-13 movie. Some of these people decide to stay single because it gives them more flexibility to do things for the organization. And the ones that do get married usually work part-time with their spouse and are full-time pioneers. Now, whereas the grade B Jehovah's Witnesses are a little more open-minded, these people are always on. They don't ever let their guard down. With these people, you definitely have to be very careful about the type of conversations you bring up with them or around them. These people live and breathe Watchtower. Now, last but not least, we have the very top tier Jehovah's Witnesses. This is the grade S. Now, these people are pretty rare. In every 5 circuits, you might have one. When you watch one of those Jehovah's Witness dramas, and the Watchtower shows these examples of these perfect Jehovah's Witnesses, these tier S witnesses actually meet, or in some cases exceed, those examples that the Watchtower shows. These are the kind of witnesses that are baptized at the age of 8, regular pioneering at the age of 9, dropped out of middle school, went on to teach themselves a whole new language, saved all their money from childhood, all the way up to adulthood, and whatever they didn't give to the Watchtower, they used to move to a whole new country in the middle of nowhere, where they can use that new language and start a whole new congregation. I'm sure even the governing body members would feel a little intimidated if put in a room with one of these tier S Jehovah's Witnesses. So those are the different grades of Jehovah's Witnesses. So again, which one were you? Were you a grade F Jehovah's Witness, living on the fence, naughty? Or maybe you were a grade S. That would be interesting if a grade S leaves the witnesses and speaks out about it. Be very interesting. And my hope is that someday, someone who's on the verge of waking up, who still has it in their head that the only people who leave the Jehovah's Witnesses are people who are weak, I hope that they will be able to stumble upon this video and scroll through the comments and be able to see that a variety of people are leaving this organization. A variety. Both people that really were on the fence, living a double life, but also people who really believed in it and really took it seriously. My other hope is that those of you who still have family members that are still stuck in, and who are starting to lose hope. You know, I go through the comments sometimes and I see you guys say things like, you know, they'll never wake up. You know, I wish this would happen. I wish. Sometimes wishing is not enough. Sometimes you need to see some proof that people really can wake up who are very deep in. So with all that being said, I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. Please take it easy on yourself, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.